Oh, don't call me out now.
I had to edit where...
That was the whole premise of the
I know, but you can't. If we just avoid talking about it, it'll be ignored.
You guys worry about everything so much. Oh, Jahmeel Powers on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Hey, I just arrived on campus. Where do you guys meet for the podcast?
We're just in my office. We're actually recording banter to begin with, so this phone call might be on it.
Whoa.
Oh, no way! Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
This is a pretty loose organization. Come in whenever you get here, okay?
Yep,
All
I'm
right.
logging in the login right now.
Awesome. See you, bud.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
Just
They
the
should introduce
sweetest
our next
individual.
guest, probably.
Yeah. So his name is Jahmeel Powers. He's a. Do you want to introduce him?
I think you're doing great.
He's a professor. They count it. Yeah. Right.
Wow. Nailed it.
Yeah.
He is a visiting assistant professor.
Visiting assistant professor here at King's for the theater department. He teaches improv, voice of movement.
Come in.
Come on in.
Open it,
Okay.
Scarlett.
This was a video, and we will...
This
Hello.
is the greatest. Hey, buddy. How are you?
Welcome to the
guys?
podcast. Have a
I know,
seat.
welcome.
We've never
Are
had
we
a
just
live
doing the phone? We're not
entrance.
doing
Yeah, we're just gonna do the phone.
Well, he
Live
started,
entrance.
and then
Oh,
I doing the phone.
Yeah.
All right.
Should I have made it more dynamic and bold?
No, it's totally fine.
No, we're just
Oh,
gonna
cool.
we'll play a little jingle and then we'll
Do
start.
you know Scarlett? Scarlett Jahmeel?
No.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Yeah. This is so
Cat.
cool. I'm so
So
excited.
basically, this is just an independent study on, what's it actually called? Sketch comedy and talk shows. So
Yeah.
like, we just
Yeah.
kind of like
Awesome.
diving into all of that and like sort of analyzing comedy and things like that. And then
Cool.
the podcast is just an offshoot. So we basically just talk.
Yeah.
Right? We don't really necessarily have a
Oh.
premise necessarily.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So
Awesome.
What makes
Cool.
you laugh the most?
What makes me laugh the most? I would have to say, in terms of what makes me laugh the most, so sorry, I'm just going to silence my phone real quick. Yeah, just in case.
you're way too professional at this right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry.
Seriously,
This is
I
what
was
I-
eating a ham sandwich last time.
Oh yeah, you're like
Well, I don't know. I just like to dress up. I like to be spiffy. So when it was like I got this job, I was like, I get to wear dress clothes every day. This is
And then
awesome.
you roll it like
Yeah, I love it.
my boss is covered in paint and smells weirdly of wood glue all the time.
Was that what that was? I wasn't sure. That's great. That's
Yeah.
a great an ambiance you had.
Yeah,
in your
an
mouth
ambiance.
there.
Yeah.
But what makes me laugh the most? I would say for sure like physical comedy. I love that. Like slapstick. A well-timed fart joke will
Yes,
always give me
Scarlett
a
hates
cackle.
this
she hates.
I know. I was listening up on it, and that's okay,
Yeah.
right? Different strokes for
Certain
different folks, you know.
But I
That's
think it's
okay.
cool. I'd love to sort of take apart that because we talked really early in the semester are there things that are universally funny, right? And we sort of landed on like physical humor is
That's
one of
what
those things, and
translates.
fart jokes are one of those things. They're kind of like it's funny in any language, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be So you don't jive as much with like. But then you at one point you said you liked the Three Stooges.
No.
Wait.
Never.
No.
No. I think physical comedy, like, if it's done right, I love it. And if it's just done with no thought, like, there's this one production, I think it's called The Play That Goes Wrong, or The Show
Oh
That Goes
yeah,
Wrong.
yeah.
And I just couldn't do it for 2 hours of slapstick. But, I mean, if it's done right, like that one video John showed us, and it has, like, a narrative, then I enjoy it.
Which video was
Laura and
that?
Hardy.
Right. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
Interesting. So
yeah.
if you liked Lauren Hardy, you hated the Marx Brothers thing I showed you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Which made me cry deep in my
No,
soul.
I know, and my mom,
But
too.
that's-
Maybe it's
What's
because
that?
My mom loves them, and she's like, I just don't understand you.
Your mom loves the Marx Brothers?
Yeah.
We should bring your mom.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
oh yeah.
She's home. She's teaching from home, so she could totally come in.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We should totally.
She's a
do
home
that.
ec teacher. She'll bring us a cake.
We could
Whoa.
we
She's
could
been
zoom
making
your
cakes.
parents in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
we'll
look, Mom, this is what you're paying for. We're making a podcast.
That'd be
How
awesome.
much credit?
We can bring my baby in. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
Just,
Eddie's
totally.
always welcome.
Yeah.
just like drooling on the microphone.
Like
and stuff.
eating the
She
microphone.
does make amazing noises.
Yeah, she does. Oh my gosh, she's getting to that point now where she's starting to like communicate, but it's all like gibberish.
Yeah.
And it's so great because I love gibberish.
Yeah.
Like as an improviser,
Yeah.
like some
Oh,
people
yeah.
hate gibberish. I love it. So we just have like gibberish conversations like back and forth.
It's fun, like
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never actually said this to you, so I'm glad I'm saying this now on tape. Like, like we're in rehearsals and things like that, and
Yeah.
then like I'll just watch Jahmeel like just sort of like go off into his own world and just like walk away with Nanny. It's awesome because like I remember that like being a new dad and like
Yeah.
like the whole world just sort of like everything just like focuses in on like you just walk away.
Right.
My father-in-law's the same way. Like I have a nephew now, Blaze, who's I think like 6 months. and he'll just take him and just like leave for like
Yeah.
30 minutes and just walk up and down the street like talking to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see that.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun.
You're
I
good,
love
Dad.
It. Yeah. Ah, thanks. I'm trying. You know, learn something new every day. You know.
So are there like particular comedians or things that you can cite as stuff you really love?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of going through that as I was getting ready today. I was like, who are the people I idolize? Like, who are the people that kind of across the board are like kind of standards in my comedic repertoire, if you will. And I would say people who are large, like physically embodying like comedians. So like the people I was thinking of, for example, was like Martin Short. Like I think Martin Short is so funny. Someone who's just able to just commit 100% like heart, body, mind, soul, like everything into what they do. I love that kind of stuff. So
Your favorite character?
A favorite character. I mean, I'd have to say I love. I can't think of his name now, but he was on SNL. He had like the
Ed Grimley.
yeah, Ed Grimley. Yes,
You guys know Ed Grimley?
No, what's
Oh my
love
Like
Ed
ghost
Grimley.
hair.
Yes.
okay.
He's got like spiky hair and
Yeah.
he comes. He's like, I'm gonna say, and he like
Yeah.
just like gyrates all the time.
It's
So
Wait,
hard
was
to
he the
describe.
mango?
What's that?
The
Was he the
man-
mango?
No,
Mango,
Mango
that
was
was Chris Kattan.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Also funny. I also
Yeah.
really liked him on SNL. A lot of fun.
He also Martin Short also did. I loved Jiminy Glick.
yeah,
Which was
Jimmy
less
Glick. Yeah.
physical, but like he would just interview people, but he wore this fat suit,
Yeah.
and his voice was like. They asked him. I saw an interview where they asked him how he did the voice. He's like, well, he's like sometimes you have to go very high and then you have to go very low, right? And that's how
Yeah.
that's how we were like, you know. So famously, he interviewed Mel Brooks, and he's like, "What's your beef with the Nazis?" It's just such a
I love that one.
But yeah, he's awesome.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I love it, and you know he's done so many films and things like that. It's just really
Do
great.
you guys have like a knowledge of Martin Short? Like, does he jump out
I
to you?
saw him
He's
at
great
what's it
as
called?
Jack Frost in
Yeah.
the Santa Claus
Into
3.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Surprisingly really good in that. Yeah, yeah.
He is, but isn't he the villain?
Yeah, he's the villain.
Like
Yeah.
when I saw that when I was little, and then I had like kind of a whatever of him as a comedian, like growing, and I didn't know I had like some weird opinion on him, and then I was like, wait,
Oh, because he was
Is he
the
that
bad guy.
villain?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
say you saw him?
I saw him
stand up.
and Steve Martin.
Oh, you saw that?
Oh, you
too?
did
Yeah.
this. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I saw
Oh,
it.
man.
Well, they're like best friends too.
No,
which
it's-
is kinda
Yeah.
awesome. And they just bust on each other constantly.
It was like one of the best shows I've ever seen, but I saw it at the original site of Woodstock, like
Oh,
Bethel
wow.
Woods, and it was so cool. It was like when I first came to Kings and I was uber depressed and I hated my life. So my mom was like, let's go see a comedy
Oh
show.
man, your mom is awesome.
She is. She's a
Yeah.
good
So
time.
did Steve play the banjo too? Or
Oh my
yeah.
god, I
Yeah.
actually went, like, I don't know if I'm that person at concert. Like, I'm the person that they get to buy the stuff. I went and I
Yeah.
bought the vinyl of, like, him and his band.
Oh, it's the
Yeah,
Rangers?
yeah.
Dude, he's an
They're so
amazing
good.
banjo player. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
he's like,
Steve Martin? Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
the highlight
amazing.
of the show. Like, I laughed, but I really enjoyed the bluegrass.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
He-
enjoying bluegrass.
He's written
Right.
a couple albums, hasn't he? Like,
Yeah.
He's done a couple
I think
Yeah,
albums.
he is legit. Like, if he wasn't a comedian, he would be a legit bluegrass
Yeah.
musician.
Yeah.
Like, he's not. It's not that it's
He's
a novelty. Like, he is legit. Like, they're like. I have a fair amount of knowledge about bluegrass music because I love it, you know. But like, I would say he's probably one of the top 5 banjo players in America. Like,
No
legit.
way.
Yeah.
Regardless of like
Like,
the fact that he's Steve Martin, you know.
there's a song called I Can Play the Banjo. Did you hear that?
I have,
It's so good.
His book is also great. Born Standing Up is like the
Oh.
best autobiography I've ever read.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So who else for your physical comedians?
Let's see. Physical comedians.
Or whatever.
So that's kind of like one that I grew up with. One that I've kind of really locked into, especially recently, is Keegan Michael Key. Like, there's just it's so great because like I love Martin Short because of like who he is and like what he represents in terms of comedy. But what I love him most about Keegan is that he has that same feel to him. But there's so much that's in line with his life, that's in line with my life, that
Yeah.
is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, he's biracial. He's half black, half white. It's amazing. He's from Michigan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So he grew up in Detroit, and he used to play in Detroit. Like, they used to have a second city in Detroit, like, a while back. I think they closed it in, like, the 90s or the early, like, 2000s or something. But it was so cool. So we, like, trained with people in Detroit. And it's so awesome because I actually trained when I did comedy sports in Detroit. The guy who runs it actually went through Second City with Keegan. So like he actually like trained and like took classes with him. He's like, oh yeah, Keegan, yeah. We used to like bust his nuts all the time. Like it was so crazy. I was like, that's amazing because he's kind of like someone that I really respect and really admire
He's
his
got an
work.
amazing mind.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's crazy.
His we constantly reference the Conan O'Brien podcast. I don't know if you've ever listened to it.
Oh,
No,
that
I
one with
need
him is
to,
amazing.
yeah.
Like even if you don't listen to all of it, he's on, and his is literally I think one of the best ones.
He's just improving the entire
It's,
time.
they,
It's
he
great.
has this amazing
I'm trying to remember.
thing with about Billy D. Williams.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Where
the Billy D. Williams
Yeah,
thing.
They brought him in for some sketch or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, just the whole bit about it. He's like I gotta go. This
Yeah,
whole
he's
thing,
like-
but then he started doing like the whole like well,
He's like, I got a
how you
heart
doing,
out.
Chewbacca. And like it's Chewbacca. And he's like, yeah, all right, Chewbacca. Like it's just like Billy D. Williams can do whatever he wants, but
Yeah.
he's awesome. And I mean, I think that there's been so many kind of sketch shows, right? It's like when a new one comes out and resonates, it sticks. Like
Right.
like so I remember like like Chappelle resonated, but then there wasn't a lot after until they came along. I think
Right,
And theirs was,
exactly.
They're just so funny.
Yeah, I mean it's just unique and really really like a fresh voice in sketch comedy. I think.
They got
Absolutely.
so big that they did one with the president. Like that's,
Right,
it's
exactly.
that-
It's
Oh,
like,
that was
yeah,
so
like,
good.
and that's
Yeah, that
hilarious.
was-
oh my gosh.
Anger translator.
Yeah,
Anger
Fun,
Translator
yeah.
is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
he actually did that at one of the correspondent
Correspondent
dinners.
dinner.
It was
Yeah, he
hilarious.
talks about that on the interview.
Yeah, and he crushed it. He absolutely crushed it. And it's so great. And I love that Obama was such a great sport about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk on the Conan thing about how like Obama was like giving him notes and stuff. He's like, all right, he's like, I'm gonna like
Right.
he came in with the script. He's like, all right, I'm gonna move this here. I'm gonna do this. This will work better if I put it after this one. And he's like, all right, Mr. President,
I know.
whatever you want.
It's so cool. Like Obama, it was so great because, like, after you get your 8 years, right, and then you leave, it's like, what would be next for Obama? And I always thought he would make such a funny stand-up comedian. Like, I would,
Really?
I would have
Shop.
loved to see him. Yeah, just
Never
like take a
thought about
mic,
that.
just talk about his experience in the White House, and I think it would kill. Because
I see, like that's such an interesting sort of like because now like I've been listening to Michelle Obama's podcast.
yeah,
And it's just like I think they're just sort of reveling in the fact that like they can relax a little bit right
Yeah.
now. And she's like just creating, and he's not. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's doing super much, but it's sort of like you've earned a break. You know?
Yeah.
He's like
I
the
would
fir-
love if he came out as a stand-up comedian.
I think
That'd
it'd be-
cool, like Secret Service on stage next to him.
Yeah, like hilarious.
Amazing.
Like, how cool would that be? I feel like that'd be the first president to like transition into like performing.
What would he
He's
wear?
so young. Still.
He's like
though.
the
That's
first cool retired president. Like all
Yeah.
other presidents that retire are just kind of, but then
Right.
like he's like cool.
Right. I feel like Clinton's kind of there, but like in an
Clinton
iffy way.
got there
you know
a
what
little bit,
I mean?
but he
Like,
also had the
like,
scandal.
I'm a Jimmy Carter fan.
Okay.
Dude, Jimmy Carter did amazing stuff when he was like a crappy president, but then he was like building houses. He's like 98 and like still building houses for was it Habitat for Humanity and stuff?
I don't know.
That's
Did
awesome.
you see Vice?
He might have died. I don't know.
Jimmy Carter?
Vice?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah.
Vice
Yeah.
is oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Did it
Christian
change
Bale.
your opinion of Dick Cheney? Like, I kind of was like, ooh, he like kind of screwed our
Is that the
country,
one with
but he's a
Christian Bale?
badass.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
Wait, you're like, who?
You thought he was a badass after that?
Yeah.
I mean, I
Is that just
definitely.
it was Christian Bale?
No, he was like disgusting and in a fat. He was Dick Cheney. He was
Yeah,
gross.
he really was. I don't even think he was in a fat suit. I think he just gained the weight.
No way.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
He
he
just
just
gained the
gained the
weight.
weight.
How?
Yeah.
How do you even gain that
Yeah.
much
Did you ever see The
weight?
Machinist?
He's like
Yeah.
super
He lost
pale.
like 85
What?
pounds. He was
Yeah.
like
He's so.
The Machinist. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen it, but I've seen
I can
pictures.
See, like,
yeah.
but I don't know how he got so big.
Well, have you
Yeah.
seen American Hustle? He's also fat in that.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, no
He
fat
did that,
suits.
which is-
Yeah, he's not a fat
This
suit
is the
guy.
same guy.
Yeah, same dude.
Oh my
he lost all the weight
God.
for that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
God.
that's not healthy.
One. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
oh,
He's-
it's
like he
grody.
said,
That's a great visual gag on a podcast, though. Like,
Yeah.
He said on he said on record that he cannot do it again because it will like
And kill him.
severely
kill
damage
him,
him.
yeah.
It can't be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah.
But it's like I'll gain like 50 pounds, no problem.
Yeah, because he did The Machinist and then he did Batman.
Right, so he had to like
He had to
bulk
gain all
up
that weight.
immediately. Yeah,
So, I'm gonna.
it's crazy. You had to go from human skeleton to like beefed up muscle head. and,
So how about back to Key and Peele, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah. Sorry, I go off on tangents a lot.
No, that's
Yeah.
this
This
talk
has
about
structure.
is such an interesting trajectory that like Jordan Peele now is like a legitimate filmmaker. Like
Yeah.
So good.
you know, like I mean, I haven't seen. I mean, I saw Get Out. I didn't see what
Yeah.
was the second?
Us.
Oh, Us.
I
It's
didn't
good.
see that.
Oh,
But he was executive producer of Hunters that I watched on Amazon,
Yeah.
which was like with Al Pacino,
Which
and it was.
it's great until the very
Oh
end.
yeah, I go
Oh,
so
yeah.
sad.
It's fantastic.
It was awesome, right? But the fact that
And then, he's,
an executive producer,
Lovecraft-
Jordan Peele, like my gosh, he's everywhere. He's,
Yeah.
you know,
Lovecraft Country.
Yes,
Oh, he's
I'm
involved in
catching
that
up
too?
on that. Yeah, he's executive producer.
Oh,
Him
man, I
and
gotta watch
J.J.
that.
Abrams.
Whoa.
So both of them are executive producers on it, and it's crazy. It's insane.
good.
Like if
I
you
would
want to
highly
watch
recommend it.
something that really kind of takes the genre of like a sci-fi like horror film and really stretch it into like places you don't even expect. That's the show.
So
for
it's
you.
like H.P.
seriously.
Lovecraft, the world of Lovecraft, right?
Yeah.
But it's set in like what? Like the
It's set in like the 1950s. Yeah, it's like 1950s South,
Okay.
in the South. So it's kind of like Jim Crow laws, things like
Okay.
that. It's about this guy who's essentially trying to find his father, and his father is a restaurant guide person. Like him and his group, they travel around to different restaurants, rest stops all across the country, and he writes journals about them. So he's trying to find his father. But along the way, I don't want to give away any spoilers because it's crazy, but like along the way, all of these different like science fiction / horror things happen to this group. So it's, I guess, the main objective, and then all this crazy stuff happens around it. It's very like sci-fi, but also very horror.
Sounds good.
It's great. It has elements of like Jordan Peele, like you can see Peele-isms in it
Yeah.
for sure. But it's really great because a lot of the credit goes to the actual creator of the show, and her name is Misha something. I can't remember her name, but like she actually created the show, writes it, directs a good chunk of it, and they're just producers on it. But like it's just incredible the way they're able to weave this idea of like racism in the South, but also put it in a horror context so you can really see like the horrors and the atrocities of
Well,
like
I've been
what
looking for something new to
happened.
jump into because
Yeah.
I stalled on Boardwalk Empire.
I stalled
feel-
on Sopranos. I
I
stalled out.
got midway in season 4 of Boardwalk. I feel like I need to finish it, but like, ugh.
Yeah.
I've got so much more
Deck
to.
Med to like cleanse my palate.
I've got so much more to go that like I don't know if like I can get through it first. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But it's so cool that Jordan Peele went from somebody who did like one independent film that like blew up, and now he's like supporting other artists
Yeah.
to make these like weird and cool
Yeah.
new things. You know,
And it's
Well, I mean, I
so
think Get Out was like brilliant.
Yeah,
Right.
it was a genre changer. Like, it was a game
absolutely
changer.
changed the
Yeah.
game to some degree, right? And
Yeah.
I think like I also heard that they tested a different ending. Did you guys ever hear about this?
No.
I heard that they tested an ending
Yeah.
where
Mhm.
I didn't want to get things. Have you all seen the movie?
I was forced to watch.
I've got.
it.
I've
I
got.
don't like horror movies.
Okay,
My
that's fair.
boyfriend's like,
Yeah.
this is a
It's
cultural.
Did you like
different.
it after you
Right.
watched it?
I did, but I mean, like, was I scared for maybe 1 or 2 nights? Yeah.
I mean, I think
Do I
that's,
like that feeling?
Dude,
No.
The first time I saw The Exorcist, I was a freshman in college. I didn't sleep for 2 nights.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I sat on the edge of my bed eating saltine crackers. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep. You know? But
Never
like,
sleeping again.
no, they tested an ending from what I was told, where the cops show up and
Yeah.
and shoot them all.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
shoots who? The white people?
No,
No,
I can't remember his name.
but the main guy. So
So his
the
buddy,
lead,
the security guard, and the main guy, the
Yeah.
cops show up and shoot him.
Yeah.
That was,
Kill him.
I think, the original intention, which is
Yeah.
maybe a powerful statement, kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then I guess it tested like
Too
it didn't-
poorly,
It
yeah.
tested like people wanted a happier ending. or
Yeah.
something, I
Right.
guess, kind
After
of.
Yeah.
all of that.
He's his
Because
friend shows
it
up
was-
at the end, right? Like I haven't seen it, but that's what the spoiler is, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah!
you
Spoilers
gotta
alert!
see it.
Spoiler alert!
No, I know, but
you
I
haven't
I
seen
watched
it.
CinemaSins, so like I know it how it ends.
Cinema
See, no, I do that
You've
stuff
never
too.
seen- oh,
I
you-
like, I
that's
research
like a
movies,
our
never
generation
watch
thing.
them.
Oh, please tell me about your generation thing.
So it's just
back in the day, we had to actually go to the movies.
It's
I didn't watch them.
It's a YouTube channel that basically just
23
critiques.
What?
It's a YouTube channel that basically just critiques movies in a fast-paced and funny way. So like every time something like, what?
Oh, I watch something different where I like to, before I watch it, like I never saw Midsummer, but I could tell you about like all the crazy
Yeah.
stuff in it. Like I like to know all the weird stuff. I want to know why someone's doing
So
something.
you were compelled to watch stuff about Midsummer, which is legitimately terrifying.
Oh, it's
But like I want to know why.
Did you
like
see that?
I love.
No, I
Oh
need to
my
see that.
God.
Yeah,
It's
but I heard it's so
It's-
intense.
It is.
Yeah.
I
I wanted
honestly
to
had a
understand
hard
like
time
the
sleeping.
director's brain. Like, I wanted to know
I got
why
a
he did what he was
headache.
doing.
It was like, it's like you know like one of those movies where you get a headache and you're like, wow, I really did appreciate that movie.
I remember when I was younger, perhaps earlier the courtship of my lovely wife, and like I went with my buddies to go see the Blair Witch Project, and we were like, "Oh, this is the most terrifying thing ever." And then I took Christina to see it, and 10 minutes later, she's like, "Is it all gonna be like this? This sucks." She's like, "It's all gonna be like a shaky camera." She's like, "This is horrible. Why did you bring me here?" And I was just like, "All right, I get it."
and that defined horror for the next 10
Yeah.
years.
Right,
She
it's
also
like
watched,
Paranormal
I was
Activity,
super into
yeah.
Lost, and she watched. I watched a whole crap ton of Lost, and I was like, "All right, please watch Lost with me." She's like, "Okay, fine, I'll try it." And then I showed her the first episode. I don't know if anybody's watched Lost, but there's
Yeah.
like that.
No.
In one of the first episodes, you hear like that brrrr sound. Remember?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Is it gonna be all this? This is all gonna be this dinosaur shit?" I was like, "This is not." She's like, "There's polar bears and dinosaurs." I'm not watching it.
It doesn't
I'm not
make any
watching
But why
sense.
did it all have to end in a church? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that ending is like, bro, really?
But I mean, so getting back to like, knowing that his original intention was to end it that way, I think that like I don't want to talk too much if you haven't seen the movie, right?
No,
but like
talk about
you
it.
know,
Please, because I'll watch it.
I mean, it's arguably a more powerful ending, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now. I mean, even back then, but now. Like, when did it come out? Like 20...
It was like
5 years ago. 6 years
15.
ago?
Was that
Yeah,
before,
2015,
before or after
2016?
Michael Brown?
It was probably contemporary with Ferguson, I would think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it probably
yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was around Ferguson time.
but
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because it's and I think that's I think it's interesting that he chose to switch it because I think honestly, as someone who was watching it, I think I enjoyed that. I think it would have been like I felt like I got the dose of reality throughout the entire movie. Where it's
You
like
needed
I
the little.
You needed a-
at
you
the
needed a
end.
little
That's
bit
exactly
of a little
how
bit
I
of
felt.
hope.
And
I
there's a
think.
certain
Yeah.
narrative like where you want the hero to like ride off into the sunset, kind of like
Right.
it's sort of
Yeah.
neat that
We
actually
always want
happened.
that.
But,
Yeah.
like, you know, I think you're right. I mean, he makes the point a lot.
The whole
Yeah,
time.
throughout the whole thing. So it's like I feel like
triumph, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like the friend just shows up so dopey, and he's like, "What?" Like,
right.
But if you followed the whole narrative of like the friend coming to get him and everything, and
Yeah.
then you ended it, I don't know, if they died, I would have been like, "Why did they die?"
Right,
You know,
exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
it is
but
like
that's,
a-
isn't that exactly the
it's
question
the
supposed to be
message,
asked
but
there?
then-
Right?
Exactly,
You know?
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
it is like it's a movie,
Right.
and
I
I
remember-
like to feel a certain way
No, I
at
think
the
that's a
end.
good
Yeah, and I remember when I saw it in theaters, the whole movie theater cheered when he showed up. They were like,
exactly.
"Ah!" Because it's like so clearly that's what the people wanted, you
Yeah.
know. It's and it's great, and that's another way that they're taking the genre of horror and flipping it on its head. It's just another
And also the whole
small way
like
they're
the
doing
way
that.
that like, you know, how am I trying to say this? So that the friend like has this sort of like air of being like a conspiracy theory nut the whole time, right?
Right.
And it
Yeah.
turns out
Yeah.
to be completely right.
Yeah.
I just love that's like that's such a wonderful trope in that movie.
You love
Right.
that? Do you like that sort of trope where it's like the craziest person is the
I
most...
kind of love it, right? Because
I
like,
like
we
it.
live in a
Most
world
sane,
now in
yeah.
reality where there's so much crazy conspiracy
Yeah.
theory, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying I was jokingly saying that they're gonna inject you with flu shots and like.
My arm was pretty sore.
But like
this time.
it's interesting to think that there's truth to some of the madness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Yeah.
what's kind of you can kind of tie that back to comedy. It's where like some comedians, including Jordan Peele, somehow they're the most insightful. Like comedians,
Oh, sure.
in a way, are like the
Totally.
smartest people on like in a
100%.
room because
Yeah,
they know.
I think that's like
Which is really
throughout
cool.
history probably
Yeah.
like the truth, right? Like people like George Carlin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like
100%. Yeah.
Just anybody that can give you insight to like. I'm trying to think of another comedian that like you really know is like the most intelligent person.
Jon Stewart.
John Stewart.
Yeah,
duh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which like
Yeah.
which is so like he defined what it is to like look at politics in a way that is like insightful and at the same time understandable.
Right.
There are people that I would put on that list, right? Jon Stewart,
Yeah.
Colbert,
Yeah, Colbert.
Dave
Definitely.
Chappelle. I put
Dave
on that
Chappelle.
Oh
list.
my
Yeah,
God,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see his
846?
846?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah, he came out with so many specials. I'm trying to catch up.
This is
still.
one worth watching.
It's like a 30-minute.
846.
It's not comedy.
It's not comedy. But
That's what I heard. Yeah.
But it's. I showed it in my HCE class actually.
You did?
Oh, yeah, that was
I
the
did,
thing.
yeah, and the crickets. I don't know. Like it was just. I wanted people
Really?
to talk more about it, but like
he's such a good
it's
speaker.
just it was sort of I think. Not long after George Floyd, right? And
Yeah.
he was like one of the. It was
It's like 2 weeks.
It was basically like he was like in a pavilion, like in his town, right? And people sat in lawn chairs, and
He has like a summer camp out there now.
he
Or
sort of
summer
said
camp.
it opened with him saying like, "This is weird. Is this weird or whatever?" And then like
Yeah.
he doesn't really tell jokes, but he has this wonderful thing. I don't want to give much away, but like he does this bit about being in LA during an earthquake. It was 4 a.m. He just smoked a joint. He just watched Apocalypse Now, and then the earthquake happened, and he's like, for 30 seconds, I thought I was gonna die. But he makes it sort of funny about like I was convinced I was gonna die, and then he just hard cuts.
He's like I was in the bathtub and stuff. Yeah.
He's like 8 minutes and 46 seconds. They had their knee on that man's neck. So he takes the joke of like I thought I was gonna die for 30 seconds, and then he immediately goes to imagine what that would have been like for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and then goes on this whole. I mean, it's really.
It's good.
But then it was great because he addressed the fact that like he specifically said Don Lemon on CNN. He's like where's Dave Chappelle? What's he saying about this? And then he's like, do any of you give a fuck about what I think about this? And then he's like, then I realize that you do care about what I think about this because I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah.
And then he just does this whole. It's really great. It's like it's like watching someone who has a platform use it in a way you would never expect, but like brilliantly, right?
Right.
So, I would absolutely highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
He still throws a couple of jokes, and he still takes shit.
Yeah,
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's
Does he
how
smoke?
he gets it through.
He just smokes like only 2 or 3 cigarettes.
Oh,
He's got
okay.
his red solo cup. I mean, it's a Chappelle show,
Yeah.
but like
Right.
Yeah.
He's just
He is.
But he comes out with a notebook, like he's got it written down, and he just keeps putting the notebook down, and it's almost like you can see him physically, like it's like he comes out and he wants to do stand up, or he thinks he has to do stand up, and then he realizes I can't do stand up right now. He just puts the book down and just talks.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can I lighten the mood?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh my god! So my friend Michael, he's like just so different, and he loves Dave Chappelle, and he's like the exact opposite of what like who you would think would love Dave Chappelle. And he's my boyfriend's roommate at Temple, and I finally like went to their apartment to like check it out, and he's like, oh, I have this really cool Dave Chappelle poster, you have to come see it. I'm like, okay, like I think it'd be cool, like him with a cigarette like on stage or something. It is like, I feel like someone photoshopped his head on it. It's like a stock image. He has like a weird, like, you know those little sweatery jacket things? Like, I don't even know what generation to say they were popular in. And like a little like, is it a cabbie hat? Like, you know, like
is he
and what,
a
like,
character?
why did he do this? Like, I want to know. He's not a character. Like, he's literally just him.
That's just him
dressed
dressed.
like absolute.
Why does Dave Chappelle dress the way he does?
No, now we gotta find it. Like, I want to find this picture because, like, why did he agree to this shoot? Why is this at like a poster fair at Temple? Like, it's so bad. Like, I want to email it to him and be like, listen. I don't know if you know that this image is still
You sure wasn't
circulating.
like a character? I feel like
Yeah,
he
it
dressed
sounds
like
like
that
a
in
character.
Baked or something.
I don't know. I don't
it
think so.
sounds very. Like,
Oh, is it
half-baked.
this?
No.
No? I was like, that's
Oh wait,
pretty
it's
average.
that without
It's this?
everything, yeah.
So it's this. That's
Yeah.
not that
Oh, yeah.
abnormal.
I mean, that's pretty.
You don't think that's
It's
abnormal?
just a yellow newsboy cap.
Yeah.
No. I
He
don't
looks
know
like
if
he's
it
dressed
was
from the
that.
90s.
I know. Yeah, I
Dressed
think
from
so.
the 90s.
Yeah.
From the 90s.
I
you
call
know?
that like the
Hello,
Sam
it's the 90s.
Jackson.
I'm here to dress you.
The Sam
Put on
Jackson.
this cabbie hat.
It's like
I've got several
his room
Kangles for
in
you to try.
2020, and I'm like, what? I don't know. I
Him and
thought it
Jon
was
Stewart are doing
hysterical.
tours, or they were doing tours, which is really cool.
Wow.
Nice. Like together.
Yeah, like
oh.
him, Dave Chappelle, Jon Stewart, and like somebody else are like doing. They were doing the theater shows
saw
before
this.
this all went down.
Oh wow,
That'd be an
that
awesome
would be an
double.
awesome
Yeah.
ticket. Yeah.
Like I don't even know if it was stand up, but they were doing some sort of just show.
I was wondering what Stewart was doing because he's not really. I mean, he's just like
He's advocating
living on
for
a farm now, basically.
policy.
Right?
I know he like executive produced like a political comedy or
He wrote
directed
it-
or something.
He wrote it, yeah.
Wrote and directed.
And it,
Is
like,
that what it
never
was?
got.
Well, he wrote
Yeah.
that movie that was set in Iraq too. Like I forget
Oh,
what-
yeah.
It was about journalists in Iraq.
It's
or
about
something.
it's
I've never
about
seen
his
it.
friend. It's about his friend who was also on the Daily Show a lot. It was like that one journalist who was always showed up on the Daily Show, and they rewrote it about him.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, they have pop up shows. Jon Stewart and Dave Chappelle did pop up shows.
So who else is on your list, Jahmeel?
Let's see who else. So we had Martin, we had Keegan. I mean, definitely somebody who was really big in terms of like influences, like younger Jahmeel. Would definitely be like the guys from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Nice.
So like Ryan Stiles, Colin Mockery, like the American version. I didn't watch the UK one until much later, but like those guys were very pivotal in my style because it's like I like in terms of like watching comedy and things like that. Like I would, I would watch them on like movies and stuff, and I thought it was cool. Like movies were funny, but that was the first time I actually saw it where it's like, oh, you can just be silly and goofy, and like that's like a thing that you can do. Like you can do that for a living. Like that's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
And you
I
just-
forgot about like watching that as a kid, but yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
it-
did watch some of the British ones and like didn't get half of the humor because it's so British.
Right, but it was
I
so.
remember they would have like I think Ryan Stiles used to be on the British one.
Yeah, and Colin, so Ryan and
Yeah.
Colin, yeah, they've been all the way through. Yeah,
Isn't there someone named Greg?
Great Proops.
yeah,
Okay.
Greg Proops.
He was on this show when I was younger, True Jackson VP. Did you ever watch True Jackson?
No, I did not.
I've
On
heard of it.
Nickelodeon?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
with Keke Palmer. It was like my favorite show. It's like this young girl who becomes like VP of a fashion company because the president, some like crazy man, Greg, hires her. And like it's so weird. Like I don't know. Besides George Lopez being on Nick at Night, like
Yeah.
how could you cite like, oh my god, this comedian was straight up in my children's programming and it was fantastic.
Well, that's
Yeah.
like I didn't as a kid, but like when Max was younger, he was super into like Thomas the Tank Engine, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm watching, I was like, who that? And I was like, oh, that's George Carlin. George Carlin did the narration, and then
No.
George Carlin was like the guy who's like, and Thomas smiled, and like,
Really?
No,
That's
you're
George
Yeah,
kidding
that's
me.
right.
George Carlin,
yeah.
Alec Baldwin, and then there was somebody
Alec
else. Yeah,
Baldwin!
there were three like famous, like very funny people that were like,
That's
Thomas was
actually
cross, like,
Probably a ball doing it.
like George Carlin's not saying fuck, but he should be.
Right.
Thomas was fucking mad. But But like
Oh yeah, the
I'm looking this up.
that thing, I don't know if you guys have ever seen. Not that I want to like derail it, but the 7 words you can't say on television. Have you guys ever seen that?
No.
Carlin bit. Look it up.
Oh wait,
It's like one of the first like it's
Yeah.
when he like was really diving into subversive comedy, right? It was early 70s. The 7 words you
Yeah.
can't say on TV. I used to
Yeah.
have them memorized. It was like, cocksucker motherfucker.
Oh yeah,
What
that
album
one.
is- is
So
that
he just
from?
goes on this random like, he got arrested, I think. But like yeah, so he's cool. I would check him out. And also he did Thomas the Tank Engine.
George Carlin. Yeah.
Also
Most
known for
famously
his
known
work
for
on
Thomas.
Thomas and Friends.
Yeah, right.
But I have the album. I don't know if it's like Modern Fool. It's something, but it's like a taupey green kind of cover, and he's
Okay.
like doing like weird things across
Yeah, he was
it.
definitely very. I mean, he started in the
Yeah.
'60s. He had like one of his
Yeah.
first bits was this the character called Al Sleep, the hippy dippy
Mm-hmm.
weatherman. He was a weatherman in San Diego, and it would be like basically it was like 1964 or '65, and the counterculture wasn't around, but he like would come out and do this bit. Where he'd be like, "Hey, I'm Al Sleep, the hippy dippy weatherman, with all your hippy dippy weather," right? And then it was like, he's like, the bit would always be like, something about a Mexican high, and then a California high, brought on by a Mexican high. It was all about smoking weed, basically.
Right.
But he's like, the weather will continue to change, and that was the end of the bit.
I mean, he has the famous stuff bit, which
Oh,
I think
yeah.
everybody's seen.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's.
You
Have
guys
seen
know that one, right?
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean,
He's like everybody just wants more stuff, so you get this, or I don't know, like.
I feel like I've
Everybody,
heard it.
you ever notice that if somebody else's stuff is shit, but your shit is stuff? He's like, "Give me my stuff. Get your shit out of here. I need room for more of my stuff."
He's like, so you buy a house to keep more stuff.
As I was doing that bad George Carlin impression, I realized that another one that sticks out to me is Mitch Hedberg. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
Oh.
It was so funny. Beth actually introduced me to Mitch Hedberg. Hedberg?
Well, now I'm
Hedberg.
Hedberg. Hedberg.
Yeah, Mitch. I was just calling him Mitch. First name
Mitchy,
basis.
Mitchy Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Mitch.
But that's sort of like quick,
yeah.
just like it's like sort of one-liner after one-liner.
Yeah.
Like
And you wonder how they
non-sequiturs.
did it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such an
Well, he's definitely
observation.
high. He's
Yeah.
high and.
Yeah, but so like when you look into it, like there was definitely some of that was just him playing that.
He's
right?
brilliant.
Like he wasn't. I mean, he was definitely somebody who got high, right?
Yeah.
But like some of that was his character that he cultivated, right? It wasn't
Oh,
that he was
wow.
always high all the time. Like I watched documentaries about where like you watch him, and he's sort of like looking at the floor. It's because he's extremely anxious and nervous.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like necessarily high. It was like it started as like he was just
Like
really
stage
scared
fright.
to be on stage,
Yeah.
right?
And he's so funny.
But yeah, it's so great. I love the stuff. Oh, it's so
But
good.
that's sort of like a counter to the physical. He's not really physical at all. It's just
Yeah.
like,
You can
Which is
hear, like,
cool.
you can just listen to an album and you get exactly what he's doing. Like, he'll
Right.
sometimes, like, be like, oh, the people on the album can't see this. I've heard that a couple times. But
Right.
yeah, like, versus like a Robin Williams where if you see him, it makes it a totally different
Yeah,
thing. than
oh,
listening to it.
100%.
Did you ever hear the bit? I don't know. Now it's just turning us to doing bits, but the Mitch Hedberg bit about feeding ducks. Did you ever hear that?
I
I
think,
think so.
Where he
yeah.
talks about like he's like I find that the amount that a duck likes me is directly correlated to whether or not I have
I've
bread.
heard that.
Oh yeah.
That whole thing. And he's like so I went in the subway and I was like, give me a loaf of bread, and they said it was 50 cents, and I said it's for a duck, and then they gave it to me for free. He's like, so I found that ducks eat for free at the subway. It's like, it's for a duck.
It's for a duck.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It's so
Right.
random.
Now I want Jersey Mike's because I was actually
Ooh,
turning over in my
yeah.
head, what am I going to eat?
Are they?
for
Do you like?
lunch?
They like?
Ooh, Jersey
like
Mike's.
is that like a
I
good sub? Better than
firmly
Primo?
believe
As far as
in-
chains.
Okay, Jersey Mike's. Here's the difference. They like slice it as you're there, not like Subway. They take it out of the little container. No, you say it, and they're like, okay, and they toss your meat on the slice.
What about Primo?
Well, Subway doesn't have bread. You know that, right? Like they just
No, I know.
in
No,
British
Jersey
court,
Mike's-
it's defined as like a cake
It's serious.
because they have so much sugar in their bread that they can't
I
actually
was
call
gonna
it
get
bread.
Subway on the way home, man.
No, get Jersey Mike's.
I have to be home for a meeting. I don't
So
know.
do I. I
get
have
Jersey
work.
Mike's.
I have to go do
Also, I could
flowers.
get I
I'm gonna
could
make
go
time.
to a local place and get a delicious sandwich.
I'm sorry I
Well,
ruined Subway for you.
I would go.
No, I
There's
don't
this like
think you
really
did.
good
I'm still
hoagie
good.
place in my town, but my like ex best friend works there. So Jersey Mike's it is.
Whoa, you plugged a mic in.
I
when
did.
did that happen?
Whoa.
A while
So we
ago.
got two mics.
Oh, yeah.
If that doesn't work, then we
Double
have this.
mics.
Even though I didn't
Mics.
feel like
It's so
it,
cool.
I was like, oh.
One just like appears in front of me. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
What's gonna
We'll get
the
Yeah.
boxing ring.
Yeah, right.
oh my god.
So, What else should we talk about? I don't know.
Well, I thought of another one because I was like, there was one more I had like prattling around in my head and I couldn't remember it. But I remembered now, which is awesome.
Great.
Yay! Who I like is John Leguizamo.
Yes.
That is.
You guys don't know him, do you?
No.
This is your homework for next week.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm not talking like Ice Age John Leguizamo,
No, like
which is awesome.
Sexaholics, right?
Wait, Ice
Yeah.
Age, like the movie?
Yeah, he played Sid the Sloth.
No,
Right.
I
He's also
Yeah.
Sid kills.
he's
Yeah.
Toulouse-Lautrec in
No, he was in
Moulin
something
Rouge.
else.
Yeah.
What else is he in?
He's also like a wonderfully trained Shakespearean actor, and like
Yeah,
he's
great.
phenomenal.
And
Oh,
plus,
yeah.
you know,
Romeo
Sid
and
for life.
Juliet.
He was in Romeo
yeah.
and Juliet.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, he was
Tybalt.
Tybalt.
Yeah. But like pre all of that, like the one man shows. So like
Freakonomics,
yeah.
and then I think
yeah,
Sexaholics.
Ghetto Clown, like all of those
Oh, dude.
are just wonderful. It's
He's
just so great.
good.
Yeah, and it is. It's just one man shows. He came out with one recently too.
Oh,
It's
I
like
totally know
Latin
him.
history
Oh,
for morons.
yes.
Yeah,
Wait, yeah, isn't he doing it for his son or something?
yeah, he did it
Yeah.
for his son. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
He
great.
is so funny, and like
Yeah.
the thing that I love
Yeah.
about him is that he,
Oh, he's great.
like when you watch his one man shows, he plays like 50 characters. Right?
Yeah.
He's turning into different people.
Yeah,
But he's like just telling a story for like 90 minutes. Right?
yeah, that's all he's doing. But like, it's just it's so captivating to
Yeah.
watch. So it's what got me into like
He was
one man
Luigi.
shows and one woman shows. Like he was kind of my entryway into that.
Yeah.
And it's like that just takes an incredible amount of talent, not just to be like a comedian to be funny, but to also take people on this narrative and be able to inhabit.
Yeah, it's different
other
than
people.
stand up,
Oh.
and like
Yeah.
it's got production value in a way that's like
Yeah,
different than stand up, and it's also like he was doing these things on Broadway, right? So
Yeah.
like, you know, like just logistically, in order to like qualify for a Tony, you have to do the same show. I think it's 8 times or something. So like, it's not really stand up; it's a rehearsed one man show. Right?
Yeah.
So he's saying the same thing each night. You know.
Yeah.
He's definitely worth checking out.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely,
Okay.
especially that early stuff. It's
Yeah.
incredible. And
I would
it's-
love to see that. Is that newer one like recorded anywhere?
Yeah, it was on. I think it might still be on Netflix because that's where I watched it. Was on Netflix,
think-
so
Okay.
it might still be there, but maybe they took it down. I'm not sure. So I
Yeah,
watched it like a year or two.
He's
ago.
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
so
would
great.
highly recommend him.
Yeah, check him out.
I've seen
It's
it's like
crazy.
it's that actor you see, but you don't really know like what he's known for.
Yeah.
So I definitely
I don't think
okay.
he's ever really had like a leading role.
Nah,
He was the Luigi in the Super
He's
Mario
always like
Brothers
a
Oh, yeah.
funny
Ooh,
supporting
that's a
character.
big one.
with the other
Bob
guy.
Hoskins, right?
I
Yeah,
think
Sid
Sid steals
yeah.
the show.
What?
Sid steals the show easily. Like, who do you remember from Ice Age?
Oh, Sid. Oh,
No, I remember
totally.
Ray
Is it
Romano.
the rat character or
What
whatever?
about Ray Romano? No, he's a
No, he's
sloth.
a sloth.
The slot.
He's
Yeah.
a stupid
Sloth.
sloth.
But what about
Yeah.
Manny, the guy, and he's like Ray Romano. He talks.
I don't
He's
think
like,
I liked
Wait,
Manny.
wait. Let's all be quiet. Were you just doing a Ray Romano impression?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Do it again.
Come on, oh, Deborah.
That was Jahmeel, everyone, not John.
I know, right? Yeah, give me credit. Give me credit.
Who was Ray?
That definitely is great. This is all from the back of my phone.
Come on.
Oh, it's John Hamm's. That you're doing John Hamm's impression of Ray Romano playing golf, right?
I mean, maybe that was just my Ray Romano.
But that John Hamm has an
impression.
impression. John Hamm has an impression of Ray Romano because he golfs with him, and he's like, he hit it, and he's like,
Wait,
funny.
was Ray the woolly mammoth?
Are we
Yeah,
still
it
talking
was the
about
mammoth,
Ice Age?
yeah.
Is this what we're
I know, we're tying back all these famous
and then
comedians.
who else is in Ice Age?
I know I hated
Dennis
the,
Leary.
Dennis
also.
Leary.
Yeah.
Ooh, controversial stand-up.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
He steals from people is what the
Oh.
accusation
Oh, is that what it
He
is?
stole his
Okay.
whole act from Bill Hicks was the
Oh,
the
snap.
accusation. I always liked Dennis Leary as a kid. I was a fan of.
Yeah.
He had like the asshole song.
Yeah, and the
ASS
Christmas
situation.
special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Black was in this. I guess he was.
What?
Oh, Jack. I mean, you got.
Oh.
Talking about physical comedy, Jack.
I know
Black's up
Jack
there.
Black, man. He did.
Alan
You know
Tudyk.
Jack Black?
I
Goes there.
absolutely despise.
You don't like Jack Black?
This is
I-
interesting. I think we need to do a podcast of like things that Scarlett hates, so we can all like see. Like, are you kidding?
We'll talk about their fiance too much.
Jack Black in Nacho Libre is one of the best comedic performances.
What about like
of all
Tenacious
time.
Yeah.
D? Have you listened to Tenacious D at all?
Who's that?
That's Jack
It's
Black's
band.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, funny stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I
Making
think it's
that
funny.
See,
but
Okay, I never heard it. I have to before I hate it. I have to listen.
it's.
He,
I just don't
I'm
think
gonna
of.
predict that you'll hate it, but I'd
He-
like
Yeah.
to listen to it.
I feel like he was forced down. I was more of a Nickelodeon kid than a Disney kid. I will say that. I feel like there was better content there.
Okay.
And he was like, he hosted the Kids' Choice Awards like 80 times. I'm like, why is he hosting the Kids' Choice Awards?
Kung Fu
He
Panda?
was
School
forced
ride.
down our throats. I'm like, why did he decide I'm his
All
market?
right, who else do you hate? How much longer do we have? I'll talk all day.
Oh, don't you have to go?
Oh yeah,
What
wait,
time
what's
do you
on?
teach?
I did have to go, but then I just had
Oh,
my
no,
mom
okay.
do my
I'm
work
right
for me.
up the way here.
Sweet. So, who else do you hate? This is fun. We'll flip it from who Jahmeel likes to who you hate.
Yeah.
Wait, so do I go?
I feel the hate growing inside.
I know.
me.
The anger.
I hate Bill Burr. Oh my god.
You don't
so
like Bill Burr?
I hate Bill
How do you
Burr.
not like Bill
I
Burr?
listened to one incredibly sexist joke, and I'm like,
Oh, he is.
No,
He
listen,
is.
listen,
Yeah, that's fair.
listen.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He is not woke.
If
No.
women can't talk, like everyone's like, the running thing about women comedians is, oh, all they do is talk about their, what's. Well, guess what? All these guys are doing, and everyone loves them, is like shitting on women. So I'm like, wait, how is this all right? As a woman, I can't support him, or who's the guy with the podcast? The big one.
Oh, Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Tom Segura is a jackass. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I don't like
Yeah.
these women-hating guys.
He's
I don't
not
care how many good
women-hating.
jokes they make.
Tom Segura is not a woman-hating guy.
No, he has ragged on women quite a few times. When if you might not catch things as a man, I'm
Okay.
sorry, when you listen to specials, but I'm like, that's so effing degrading. Like, and people are sitting there laughing. I'm
Wait,
like,
about
wait, can't you see? Wait, but like, isn't it like the thing of like he's pointing out how terrible it is?
no,
Like
he's not.
Well, aren't you laughing at the fact that
I'm not
like,
laughing.
I think that's the thing with controversial comedians is like, are they being genuine or are they being so bad because
I
that's
can't.
funny?
I don't think he can make a blanket
Yeah,
decision there, right? I think
Yeah,
it's like comedian by comedian.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I trust me, there are some people where I'm like, I will laugh along with you, like it's fine, but some of their sexism is just so, like it's not even funny. I'm like, that's just, you're just, you're making your wife joke.
Right. Yeah.
Like
and
John Mulaney choreographs his wife jokes so well.
Yeah.
And like, let's make fun of Anna together.
that's just what I was gonna say. So
Yeah.
it's like there's able to kind of create that balance, right?
Like you can make a
Yeah.
respectful wife joke. You can do that.
Yeah.
Some people just don't care enough to
Yeah.
make a respectful
So I
wife
think
joke.
though, I
But
wanna
like
go back
his
to
wife's a
Bill Burr.
comedian, you know that, right?
No.
Yeah, Tom Segura's wife is also a stand-up comedian.
Really? Who?
Yeah, Christina Pazsitzky. She also has a
Okay.
so that like, it's not like I don't personally
Well,
because
she
I'm a
lets
big
him do that. It's fine.
I'm
I
a big
guess.
fan of Tom Segura. Personally, I don't think it's because he's sexist. I think it's just because him and his wife have that repertoire
Maybe I don't
where he
understand
has that
something.
like because I listen to their podcast a lot, and it's because like their form of comedy is just going as dark as possible because that
Okay.
is funny to
I
something.
And
feel
like
like-
I like dark and
Yeah.
I like controversial, but some of them I'm just like I can't watch this like fat white male talk about women this way.
So I think Bill Burr, like him or don't like him,
Yeah.
is representative of an older school of comedy.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
You know, the Diners Club roast sort of
Yeah.
like he's not like that far, but like he just has that sort of mentality of like taking apart hecklers and like
Yeah.
and I don't not like him, but I've never really leaned that much into him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's interesting from your point of view as a lady, that doesn't resonate, right?
I just don't want to listen and feel
trope,
offended.
not this trope, but like I think a rather bullshit statement that like is really prevalent, which is girls aren't funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of really funny friends who are girls who've done
Mm-hmm.
improv and stuff, and we've talked about this, like where that comes from. I don't know where that comes from.
No.
And
I think it comes
Where
from
does it come
insecurity.
from? Where does it come from?
I think it comes from insecurity.
Yeah, and I think it just comes from like a male-dominated
Yeah.
society. I mean, just kind of like comedy in general. If you look at sketch, you look at improv, you look at
yeah.
stand-up, it's white males.
It
Like
is.
That's the dominant
Yeah.
force. So I feel like anybody that kind of comes in that's different than that and is like killing it and doing
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
really well, I think it does. Insecurity by
Yeah.
people who are at the top sometimes kind of create that, and because they're at the top, they kind of bring that system of like,
Exactly.
disrespect for other people, and people are like, okay, yeah, I can get behind that because my favorite
Yeah.
comedian.
Yeah, I'm
said
gonna
it."
call myself out. Like
Yeah.
when we were naming like comedians that we thought were smart and brilliant, and someone that I didn't say, Tig Notaro, which I should
Oh,
have
I
said.
love Tig.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Love
But
Tig.
I didn't say her, right? And
Yeah.
like I don't know if that's like
Ooh.
whatever. There's my microaggression. That's a real thing, and like
Yeah.
I gotta realize those
Oh,
things.
totally.
I should have said Tig Notaro because I think some of the comedy I think is just so otherworldly brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should have been on that list.
Yeah, honestly, I can say the same thing. I'll call that out because Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh, my
yeah.
god.
She's
yeah.
hilarious. She is brilliant. She's brilliant
Yeah.
and she's hilarious and she's a woman. That's amazing.
Oh,
it's
I've
like,
had a run-in with
it's-
her where I don't like her because she's a girl, and I had to stop myself. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa!" Like she.
Whoa, that's interesting.
yeah.
And like
Close that laptop.
Ah,
No,
this is
I
the
can't stop
microaggression
recording.
part. Yeah.
But no, I closed the laptop. I'm like, wait a second, I'm recording this episode. But Like, I like Nikki Glazer because she has something, maybe it's something in me, like, I don't want to be like, I don't identify as female, I'm sitting here with, like, bangs and my hair in a bun and, like, a purse, but I don't, like, the first thing about me isn't that I'm a female.
Yeah.
And, she just came off as too, like, woman, like, whatever for me, in a way that Amy Schumer doesn't. She had this weird, like, feeling to her that I'm like,
Is it the self-deprecating humor thing? Because, like, I think Nikki Glazer has that too, right? Like,
yeah.
Which is, like, that's not, like, a gender thing. That's just,
No,
like...
I love
I was
Nikki
thinking about that on the
Glazer.
way in today. Like, there's so many comedians that cut them... Like, Conan does it, too.
Oh, my
That,
God,
like, cuts down themselves.
I do it.
Because I think there's almost, like, this, like, feeling of, like, how are we getting away with this? It's almost like I have to, like... You know, I have to sort of
Be a clown.
Be a clown and cut myself down because otherwise, like, this is such luck that I get to do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to derail the point you were making about
Where was I?
Nikki Glazer.
Yeah. I mean, like, my own list of comedians, like, when you were like, who are our favorite comedians? I'm like, okay, John Mulaney, Jim Gaffigan, Mike Birbiglia, like, these 3 white guys from Georgetown. And I'm like, oh, let me, like, really think about what makes me laugh. And I'm like, no, Chelsea Handler has made me laugh since childhood.
Yeah.
And, like, giving these people the same exact props. I don't know why. Even as a woman, I'm like, why are all my favorite talk show host guys, why am I not giving Samantha Bee a chance? Like, why am I
really funny.
not about Lily Singh and, like, all these people? So I've been trying to challenge myself, and, like, it's hard for me, like, as a woman, to do this challenge and say, like, okay, males, I invite you to do the same. Instead of just saying it, like, you guys have to do it, I have to look into myself, too, and be like, wait, I'm the same.
Like, I mean, like, just this conversation can relate to so many things, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I just feel like, you know, not that I want to, like, change the subject, but, like, you know, over the summer, like, Gaslight, my theater company, we wanted to do something, right? We wanted to be allies, right? And, like, we debated, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And it's sort of just like, well, why don't we host a conversation about, you know, equality in Northeast PA Theater? Jahmeel was a part of it.
Yeah.
And, like, leading up to this, it was basically just a bunch of people sitting in camp chairs in our president's backyard, right? We were so, like, nervous about the conversation. Like well, who should host it? Who should this? Who should that? And we all showed up, and then, like, we just started talking.
Yeah.
And, like, to the point where I think you can hear me on the recording say, like, are we recording this? I'm like, yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
Right? And there wasn't, like, there was this sort of, like, fear of the starting of the conversation. Right?
Yeah.
But then it just happened. And, like, I just wish that we could all realize, this is going to sound so cliche, that, like, you know, we're just people. Like, we're all just people.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need to constantly define ourselves by male, female, black,
Exactly.
white, you know, hetero, homosexual? Why can't we just all talk to each other? Right? I mean...
Separating the art from the artist.
Wouldn't that be exactly?
That's what I fear happens with, and I don't want to sound bad, but, like, I feel like there's a balance. Like, you don't necessarily have to write off a comedian for one certain thing if you know what I mean.
I think it's just because I turned on his one special and we let off with women are silly and bad. I'm like, can we start with something else?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
give me a second to
Are you
buy
like
into
his East Coast representation?
I just no. I
You're
just
like, this is
You're like
great.
his manager. And like, hold on a second.
no. I
now
just
that-
and like
I feel like
smoking
I'm not
cigarettes
from
as a
here.
visual guy.
I really love somebody who is willing to push the envelope as dark and as just
See, I love dark though.
Yeah.
as possible. Like I don't think his entire repertoire of humor is just that, and I think the fact that if, like, it's that closing of the conversation where if you, like, do research into him and, like, he's promoting, like, a lot of young comedians, and including Taylor Tomlinson, who, like, opens... I would highly recommend Taylor Tomlinson.
Okay.
She's hilarious.
No, I've heard of her.
But, like, he's good friends with her, and, like, if, like, he's had Nikki Glazer on the podcast, and they talk about these things, and I feel like somebody's character that they represent on stage is not necessarily the same person that they are off.
But I think a fair point is, like, you know, if a viewer tunes in and hears a joke that they think is not their speed...
Off the bat. I'm like, are we going to be women-hating?
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
just
like... You know, I think that comedian has to be okay enough with that idea to put it out there, right?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Sorry.
I actually want to go and listen to his podcast with Nikki Glazer because like
it's him and his wife and Nikki Glazer. They have that podcast all the time.
I'll totally listen to that.
And
like,
Christina Pajitsky, she's really funny.
Best friends, he's besties with oh my god, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
And like there was always a kind of where I'm like,
well, have you heard Bert say sexist things?
They're not as sexist. I feel.
But
like.
do you think he's saying them ironically?
He's saying them ironically, and he's putting them with situations too. I think it's just kind of like how people weave what they're saying, and like maybe I'll give him another chance. I just had a strong opinion when I was like, I'm gonna give this guy a chance, and then I like turned it on and I was like, oh, and I'm not offended easily.
I think it's the way he delivers things. Like, because there are certain, the self-deprecating, Bert Kreischer is more of a self-deprecating
Oh my God,
versus confident sort of thing, and Tom
Yeah.
Segura is very Anthony Jeselnik-like in his,
Yeah.
like, I'm going to tell you jokes because
Yeah.
I'm an asshole, and
Yeah.
I know I can get away with this sort
Yeah,
of
because
thing.
I remember I didn't used to vibe with Anthony like at all. Like I'd
Yeah,
watch his
same.
stuff and I was like, I don't know. He's just so
Yeah.
like smarmy, you know.
And I
He's just
think-
like,
Yeah.
like, I
Ultimately-
hate
haircut
that.
it.
And ultimately,
Yeah, right. It's like,
Totally.
I don't like
flop,
this
like-
guy.
and
Yeah.
ultimately it is personal preference. It's like, how do you like
Oh,
your
yeah.
comedy delivered?
Yeah,
Yeah.
For sure.
definitely.
All right, well, we should wrap up. So, like, we want to
Yeah.
give you the last word of like whatever you want to. I don't know. How do we want
Cool.
to? How do we want to frame this?
I
What do you
don't
want?
know. Just, I don't know.
Well, I mean, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Talk about
Yeah,
stuff.
like this was so much fun. It was so cool, just like be able to just sit and just talk about comedy. And
Yeah.
I love that it branched out into other stuff too.
Yeah.
I think it's
It is.
great.
It has been happening that way, which is kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is really cool because I think like comedy is kind of like the ultimate truth. Like in order to perform comedy, you have to know the truth about yourself and you have to know your truth about the world. So I think it's so great, and it's just evident in the fact that we started just talking about comedians and how it grew into this bigger outlook on life. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.